Welcome to Lesson 89, Estimating Square Roots. Our objective is I can use guess and check to estimate the square roots of numbers that are not perfect squares. So what are perfect squares? Well, if I take 1 times 1, I'll get 1. If I take 2 times 2, so what I'm doing is I'm taking numbers in a row and I'm multiplying them together. 4 times 4 will give me 16, 5 times 5 will give me 25, 6 times 6 will give me 36, and so on. So this list of numbers are the perfect squares. We're going to be using them moving forward to help us with square roots and some other things that we'll see in the future. So they will be helpful to us probably. So now let's talk about square roots. What are square roots? Well, a square root is an answer to the question, what number times itself equals the number? So, the square root of 16 is the answer to the question, what number times itself is 16? Okay, so let's try one together. Let's find the square root of 400. What I want to do is I'm going to multiply until I get somewhat close to 400. Let's see. Let's try 10. So 10 times 10. 10 times 10 is 100. Okay, so I'm really short. Let's try 50. 50 times 50 is 2500. Okay, so I went too far. You see how 100 is smaller than 400 and 2500 is way bigger than 400? So I need to pick kind of in the middle and try and narrow it down. So let's see, let's try 25. 25 times 25? That'll be 1,250. Okay, we're getting closer. We've really cut it down. Oh no, I multiplied that wrong. It's not 1,250. It's 625. Okay, let's try 18. 18 squared is 324. 18 times 18 is 324. So I'm getting closer. Let's try 20. 20 squared? Oh, that's 400. Okay, so 20 times 20 is equal to 400. So the square root of 400 is equal to 20. Excellent. Go ahead and pause the video and try to find the square root of 169. Now that you've done that, let's find it together. So the square root of 169, well, we know that 10 times 10 is 100. So we know that it's bigger than 10. Okay, let's try 15. 15 times 15. I'm going to pull up my Casio FX260 Solar. 225. 225. Okay, let's try 13. 13 times 13 is 169. So the square root of 169 is equal to 13. There we go. It's that simple. Let's try this one. This one's really big, 625. So let's try some bigger numbers. Let's see. Let's try 30. 30 times 30 is 900. Okay, so it's got to be smaller than 30. We've narrowed it down. Okay, let's try 15. 15 times 15 is 225. Okay, let's try 21. 21 squared is 441. Okay, we're getting closer. Let's try 28. Let's try 25. 25 times 25 is 625. So the idea is we're picking numbers and we're trying to basically sandwich the square root of 625 in between numbers that we know by guessing and checking. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and try this one on your own. Okay, now that you've tried it on your own, let's do it together. So I'm looking for the square root of 961. Okay, let's try, let's see, 30 squared is 900. So we know it's going to be, I could even write the square root of 900 is equal to 30. I could even write that if I want to. So it's going to be bigger than 30. Let's try 40. Well, that's the square root of 1600. It's equal to 40. So it's in between 30 and 40. Let's try 35. Let's see. 35 squared is 1225. Okay, let's try 31. Oh, 31 times 31 is equal to 961. Awesome. So the square root of 961 is equal to 31. Okay, so now we have to ask ourselves, between which two whole numbers does the square root of 20 live? Well, we're going to do the same thing. Let's sandwich it in between some stuff. So I know that 5 times 5 is equal to 25, and 4 times 4 is equal to 16. And 20 is in between 16 and 25. So if here's 4, here's 5, the square root of 20 must live somewhere in here, in between those numbers on our number line. Right? So we're good. We're in between the numbers 4 and 5. Go ahead and pause the video and try this one on your own. Now that you've tried it on your own, let's do it together. So I want to know, between which two whole numbers does the square root of 40 live? So let's try some out. Let's see, I know 7 times 7 is 49, and 6 times 6 is 36. So here's 7, here's 6. The square root of 40 must live somewhere in between 6 and 7. Now let's talk for a side note really quick about irrational numbers. Irrational numbers are numbers that you can't make into a fraction. They repeat on forever. For example, the square root of 20 is irrational. You'll see what I mean in a second. Okay, let's use a calculator to round square root of 20 to 2 decimal places. Okay, I'm going to use the calculator on my computer so that you can see it. Here's the calculator on my computer. I'll drag it over so you can see it. There we go. So we want to use a calculator to run the square root of 20 to 2 decimal places. So I'm going to put 20 into the calculator, and then I'm going to hit this square root button right here on my calculator. That'll give me 4.47213, and so on and so on and so on. You see how it goes on forever and it doesn't really repeat, or there's no pattern to it? So we know that that's irrational. So let's round it to 2 decimal places. So looks like I have 4.4721359. That's good enough. I want to round it to 2 decimal places, so I'm going to look at the second decimal place, and I know this is the one that I might need to change, and I'm going to look to the guy to the right. I'm going to look to the guy next door. It's a 2, so remember our rounding rules. If it's 5 or bigger, we round up, and if it's 4 or smaller, we round down. So 2 is small, so we're going to round down to 4.47. We're going to leave the 7 alone. Okay, so go ahead and do this next one on your own. I'm going to have to get rid of the drawings in order to do that, though, unfortunately. So go ahead and do this next one on your own. Now that you've tried it on your own, let's do it together. I'm going to pull back that calculator, and we're going to round the square root of 11. So I'm going to put 11 into the calculator, and I'm going to click the square root button, and I'll get 3.3166249, and so on. So 3.316624. Just the numbers I'm going to write down. I might need to change the 1, so I'm going to look next door to this 6 right here. And this 6 is more than 5, so I'm going to round the 1 up to 3.32. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.